there's sort of pros and cons to getting into an LLC with somebody, and it's hard to unring that bell. It's hard to unwind that sometimes, which
Right.
is good and bad. Definitely, at the very least, a joint venture agreement outlining, the terms that everybody is expected to play ball under. And so we've seen some really sort of back of the napkin JV agreements that, you know, I can't even really tell what the agreement was. You know what I mean? Where,
Yeah.
somebody's lent some money, and somebody's going to pay back some money, and there might be an extra kicker or spiff or whatever it might be, but it's, the contracts can be so vague as to be unenforceable. And so, whatever the deal structure takes, having a very well thought out and professionally drafted agreement outlining the payouts, distributions, terms, rights, privileges of each party makes a lot of sense. I do think that there is value in structuring a transaction like that through an LLC. But if somebody's unscrupulous on the other side, sometimes a private money lender isn't lending the entire amount of the property, and so
Right.
they may not have majority control or something like that. So it's like, if you do get into an LLC, you want to be really thoughtful about it, because if the other person is quote unquote managing the property, they could file a tax return that's fraudulent, or they could do something that all of a sudden really blows back on you, and can end up being, sort of out of the frying pan into the fryer, so to speak, or if I'm using my cliches right.
Nope, that's
Uh,
pretty good.
but yeah, but nonetheless, JV agreement also works really well because it's just enough of a lockdown contract to make sure everybody knows what they're doing without getting too far down the aisle with somebody and really being in a business relationship with somebody you may not know very well.
Awesome. All right, so I'm gonna get to the more newbie type questions, right? To kind
Sure,
of hit them out.
problem.
So,
Yeah.
what are the most common legal mistakes new real estate investors make?
Yeah, I think it is, not knowing what you don't know, and